The Asia-Pacific region is actually set to see explosive growth in online video revenue over the next few years, and Twitter is actually eyeing this gap in opportunity with this recent expansion of its video partnerships across the region. Recently announced, for example, more than 35 premium video content partnerships, including one with Bloomberg LP, which is developing a global breaking news video network for the Twitter service. Let's talk more about this. We're joined out of Singapore by Maya Hari. She's Twitter's Asia-Pacific MD, and joining us exclusively, I should note, for this chat. Maya, pleasure to see you. What's been keeping you up lately? What's the most exciting part of your day so far?
David, thank you for having me on the show. It's great to be here. Well, Twitter has established itself very clearly as the place where people come to see what's happening in the world and people come to talk about it as well. This is true globally. It's true in Asia as well. It's an incredibly exciting region for Twitter, and Asia is a strong engine of future growth. If you look at the macro trends, you have about 50% of the world's internet, mobile, and social population all in this region today, and this is exciting. And if you take markets like Japan, India, Indonesia, these are big consumer audience markets in the industry, and so too for Twitter. And if you see the fastest growing markets for us in the region, we see exciting opportunities in South Korea and Southeast Asia. So really exciting growth opportunities all around in the region.
And is that why you've partnered, I understand, with KBS to bring K-pop live events over on Twitter? I mean, nothing against, of course, men with makeup. I wear some myself, of course, every day. It's part of the job. But help us understand, because it's not normally something I would associate with Twitter K-pop.
Well, there's a global trend. You know, K-pop loves Twitter, and Twitter loves K-pop. If you take a recent example, BTS, one of the hottest K-pop bands today, they actually crossed 10 million followers just earlier this week, and incredible love from fans around the world, from the US, from Brazil, from Southeast Asia and Japan. So clearly this is a global trend around conversations. Now, if you take brands interested in really banking on this trend and connecting with consumers around the world, it's a very unique opportunity. So we have partnered with KBS to bring premium content, live streamed their weekly music bank content every Friday from Seoul to the world, and be able to provide monetization around it. We have interesting opportunities coming up. The biggest K-pop award show, which is the Mama Award Show by Mnet, is the red carpet is going to be live streamed in the coming weeks. So interesting opportunities for brands to really ride the wave and connect with consumers around their passion points, and K-pop is certainly one of them.
All right. I mean, just very quickly though, I mean, does that mean your demographic, your new users are getting younger?
Well, we have a high proportion of millennials on the platform. If you look at Asia, 60% of millennials will be in Asia, by 2020, and this represents an incredibly interesting opportunity. So whether it's K-pop, whether it's Bollywood, whether it's sports, there's a great opportunity for millennials to connect and see what's happening around the world on Twitter. And brands are excited to connect through this video opportunity and live video opportunity to consumers in this demographic.
Maya, I want to bring up another issue here. This issue of censorship. Censorship came up in Indonesia recently, and essentially what they're saying is, if you don't get in line and get in line in terms of filtering banned content, then you're out of the country. Where is that conversation now? Where are we in that process with Twitter?
Look, I'm not going to comment on specifically Indonesia's social media policy, but I will tell you in general, we work closely with governments around the world as required, while also defending our right for our users to express themselves freely. So that's an ongoing conversation for us. The second thing I'll say is that safety is incredibly important to Twitter globally and in the region here. And we're very committed in making sure that that there is, our policies are clear, they're transparent, and consumers know that it's a safe place for them to express themselves. So much so that we're investing in resources here in the region around this, and we're increasing our user services and our safety resources in the region, and other areas of interest too. We're investing in being able to get Twitter access to consumers in emerging markets like Indonesia, like Philippines, like India with Twitter Lite. So lots of interesting conversations in the region.
Yeah, certainly. I was looking at that product, designed for a lot of these users with perhaps lower data plans, I guess to suffice to say. Now, since you brought up it's a safe place, Twitter's also been cracking down on verified accounts, if that is the proper way to describe it. How will this work? I mean, does it affect everyone and anyone with that blue check? And, what are the standards that you guys use to determine whether or not that person is out of line?
Well, I'll say that in general, we are reviewing our overall verification strategy. I think the important thing is that the spirit of verification historically has always been that we wanted to be able to protect personalities who are important personalities, be it government personalities, famous actors, musicians, agencies, who stand the risk of impersonation. And over time, we want to make sure that our policies are reviewed and we go back to that spirit, that fundamental spirit of what verification is really for. So you'll hear more of this as we go on that front.
Yeah, I know. I have a blue check myself, but I promise you I haven't done anything out of line, right? So please keep my account safe. Now, the other thing, and I'm sure a lot of people would be curious in this, are you hiring? What are the key areas of hiring for 2018 in Asia?
We're hiring. We're seeing interesting growth around the region. News, sports, and entertainment are key areas for us from both an audience and a monetization standpoint, particularly tied to live video. Tied to this, we're actually investing in resources, in growing our resources around both sales as well as content partnerships to be able to bring more interesting partnerships. You talked about 35 partnerships we announced in live video and premium video. In APAC, we want to do more of that. We've seen a recent example of Melbourne Cup last week, where we live streamed the Melbourne Cup globally, and we had over 1.6 million users come to the platform, unique users come to the platform to view that. And it was a great sponsorship opportunity for a brand like Lexus. So we want to see more stories like this play out, and we're certainly investing in sales and content partnerships. We're also establishing our data services business regionally here in Singapore and investing in user services teams for safety.
My final question, we're running out of time, but just very quickly, I'm looking at your monthly active users rather, and our Bloomberg chart actually shows us this. Guys, can we get it up? There seems to be a split, 80-20, almost in favor of international users, but the split in terms of revenue is more in favor of the U.S. Why the imbalance, and where do you want to take this?
Well, I think in general we see that there's an incredible audience opportunity in Asia. We talked about how 50% of the world's population from internet and social is here. So you see that on the audience side playing out. On the revenue side, Asia continues to be also a future engine of growth. So if you take Japan, for instance, an important market, Japan contributes to 15% of our global revenue. And as we build on our live video offerings for our advertisers, we see this continue to play out in the region, in China and other places too.
All right, Maya, we got to leave it there. Maya Hari, or Maya_Hari, her Twitter handle there, the MD, Asia Pacific at Twitter.